Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Let us start today's session. Welcome to everybody. So today, after the Mangala Charana, we will be reading the 15 verses which we have studied last week, the last Sunday. Okay. After reading those, after chanting those, we will move ahead with our today's session. Okay. Om Astindranaminduchodamarunaఛాయం त्रिनेत्रान्वितं आश्लिष्टं प्रियया सपद्मकरया स्वाङ्कस्थया सन्ततं बीजापूरगदाधनुस्त्रिशिखयुक्चक्राब्जपाशोत्पलव्रीह्यग्रस्वविषाणरत्नकलशान् हस्तैर्वहन्तं भजे. श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः. नंदो नंदिप्रियो नादो नादमध्यप्रतिष्ठितः निष्कलो निर्मलो नित्यो नित्यानित्यो निरामयः परं व्योम परं धाम परमात्मा परं पदं परात्परः पशुपतिः पशुपाशविमोचकः पूर्णानन्दः परानन्दः पुराणपुरुषोत्तमः पद्मप्रसन्ननयनः प्रणताज्ञानमोचनः प्रमाणप्रत्ययातीतः प्रणतार्तिनिवारणः फलहस्तः फणिपतिः फूत्कारः फाणितप्रियः बाणार्चिताङ्घ्रियुगलो बालकेलिकुतूहली ब्रह्म ब्रह्मार्चितपदो ब्रह्मचारी बृहस्पतिः बृहत्तमो ब्रह्मपरो ब्रह्मण्यो ब्रह्मवित्प्रियः बृहन्नादाग्र्यचीत्कारो ब्रह्माण्डावलिमेखलः भ्रूक्षेपदत्तलक्ष्मीको भर्गो भद्रो भयापहः भगवान् भक्तिसुलभो भूतिदो भूतिभूषणः भव्यो भूतालयो भोगदाता भूमध्यगोचरः मन्त्रो मन्त्रपतिर्मन्त्री मदमत्तमनोरमः मेखलावान् मन्दगतिर्मतिमत्कमलेक्षणः महाबलो महावीर्यो महाप्राणो महामनाः यज्ञो यज्ञपतिर्यज्ञगोप्ता यज्ञफलप्रदः यशस्करो योगगम्यो याज्ञिको याजकप्रियः रसो रसप्रियो रस्यो रञ्जको रावणार्चितः रक्षो रक्षाकरो रत्नगर्भो राज्यसुखप्रदः लक्ष्यं लक्ष्यप्रदो लक्ष्यो लयस्थो लड्डुकप्रियः लानप्रियो लास्यपरो लाभकुल्लोकविश्रुतः वरेण्यो वह्निवदनो वन्द्यो वेदान्तगोचरः विकर्ता विश्वतश्चक्षुर्विधाता विश्वतोमुखः वामदेवो विश्वनेता वज्रिवज्रनिवारणः विश्वबन्धन विष्कम्भाधारो विश्वेश्वर प्रभुः शब्दब्रह्म शमप्राप्य शम्भुशक्तिगणेश्वरः शास्ताशिखाग्रनिलयः शरण्यः शिखरीश्वरः षड्ऋतुकुसुमस्रग्वी षडाधारः षडक्षरः संसारवैद्यः सर्वज्ञः सर्वभेषज भेषजम्. So these shlokas we had seen on last Sunday. So we will continue with our next shloka. सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः
सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः
सुरकुञ्जरभेदनः
सुरकुञ्जरभेदनः सुरकुञ्जरभेदनः
सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः
सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः
सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सुरकुञ्जरभेदनः
सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः
सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सुरकुञ्जरभेदनः सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः सृष्टिस्थितिलयक्रीडः सिन्दूरितमहाकुम्भः सदसद्व्यक्तिदायकः
मनोजवर्य
सिद्धो
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः साक्षी समुद्रमथनः
स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः
स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः
स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः
स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः
कामगानरतः सुखी
सामगानरतः सुखी सामगानरतः सुखी
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः
स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी
स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी
साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी साक्षी समुद्रमथनः स्वसंवेद्य स्वदक्षिणः स्वतन्त्रः सत्यसङ्कल्पः सामगानरतः सुखी
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशः
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशः हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशः
हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक्
हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक् हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक्
हव्यो हुतप्रियो हर्षः
हव्यो हुतप्रियो हर्षः हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षः
हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक्
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक् हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक्
हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक् हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक् हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः हंसो हस्ति पिशाचीशो हवनं हव्यकव्यभुक् हव्योहुतप्रियो हर्षो हृल्लेखामन्त्रमध्यगः
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता
for our listeners or participants. Kshetradhipaha. Next, you can hear the letter called ka. So now you may wonder why we are not pronouncing it ahka. So I have earlier also I have told when there is a ksha after visarga, when there is a ksha, we will not pronounce it as ahka. In such cases, wherever the ksha follows visarga, we will pronounce the visarga as visarga. Kshetradhipaha kshama bharta. So in Bhagavad Gita also there are several places where people actually do this mistake. Kshetradhipaha kshama bharta. This is not the way in which it should be chanted. According to the Paninian rule grammar, Sanskrit grammar, that is the wrong way of pronouncing or chanting. Kshetradhipaha kshama bharta is the correct way. Kshetradhipaha kshama bharta.
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता
क्षमा परपरायणः.
क्षमा परपरायणः क्षमा परपरायणः
क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेम.
क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेम क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेम
आनन्दः क्षोणिसुरद्रुमः.
आनन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः आनन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः.
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः
क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः.
क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः
क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः क्षेत्राधिपः क्षमा भर्ता क्षमा परपरायणः क्षिप्रक्षेमकरः क्षेमानन्दः क्षोणीसुरद्रुमः.
Now it might seem that this in Anushtup, that the meter Anushtup, how can such difficult chanting is possible? See, this is the Stotra Sahitya or Sahasranama Sahitya. Sahasranama Sahitya and Stotra Sahitya, usually the poets who write these verses, they have not this compulsion to stick with the kavya beauty. So sometimes because of the names, because the name of the Lord sometimes is like Kshetradipaha, Kshamabharta, and you have to fit that in that Anushtup verse. So while chanting, it might seem difficult, but that is how it is. Okay, but in kavya, if such things come, then that's also called as Katu Kavya. Means it's very difficult to hear or difficult to pronounce. Kavya means poetry. The poetry like Kumarasambhavam, Raghuvamsham, the beautiful story type poetry where we see. So in such poetries, you cannot put these type of difficult words. That will not be called as poetry. Okay, just for the information. Dharma pradorthadah kama.
Dharma pradorthadah kama. Dharma pradorthadah kama.
Data saubhagyavardhanaha.
Data saubhagyavardhanaha. Data saubhagyavardhanaha.
Vidya prado vibhavadaha.
Vidya prado vibhavadaha. Vidya prado vibhavadaha.
Punarikavaram vadatu.
Vidya prado vibhavadaha.
Bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
Bhukti mukti phala pradaha. Bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
Dharma pradorthadah kama data saubhagyavardhanaha.
Dharma pradorthadah kamadata saubhagyavardhanaha. Dharma pradorthadah kamadata saubhagyavardhanaha.
Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha. Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
Dharma pradorthadah kamadata saubhagyavardhanaha. Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
Dharma pradorthadah kamadata saubhagyavardhanaha. Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha. Dharma pradorthadah kamadata saubhagyavardhanaha. Vidya prado vibhavado bhukti mukti phala pradaha.
आभिरूप्य करो वीर
आभिरूप्य करो वीर आभिरूप्य करो वीर
श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः
श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः
सर्ववश्यकरो गर्भ
सर्ववश्यकरो गर्भ सर्ववश्यकरो गर्भ
दोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः
दोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः दोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः.
See, for the listeners, again here we have discussed this earlier to every class. I think we are discussing. So we have split this Abhirupya Karo Veera or Sarvavashya Karo Garbha just for the sake of splitting it into syllables of 8 in meter. Okay, understood. But actually the name of the Ganapati here in both the lines are Veera Shri Pradaha is the name, Garbha Doshaha is the name. It's not Veera, it's not Shri Pradaha. Okay, that we have to keep in mind. Abhirupya karo veera Shri Prado Vijaya Pradaha.
आभिरूप्य करो वीर श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः आभिरूप्य करो वीर श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः
सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः
सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः
आभिरूप्य करो वीर श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः
आभिरूप्य करो वीर श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः आभिरूप्य करो वीर श्रीप्रदो विजयप्रदः सर्ववश्य करो गर्भदोषः पुत्रपौत्रदः.
मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोक
मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोक मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोक
हारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः
हारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः हारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः
प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भः
प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भः प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भः
हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः
मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः
प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भो हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भो हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भो हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
मेधादः कीर्तिदः शोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भो हृष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
मेधादः कीर्तिदशोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भोरुष्टचित्तप्रसादनः मेधादः कीर्तिदशोकहारी दौर्भाग्यनाशनः प्रतिवादिमुखस्तम्भोरुष्टचित्तप्रसादनः
पराभिचारशमनः
पराभिचारशमनः पराभिचारशमनः
दुःखभञ्जनकारकः
दुःखभञ्जनकारकः दुःखभञ्जनकारकः
लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा
लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा
निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः
निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः
पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः
पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः
लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः
लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः
पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः
पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः पराभिचारशमनो दुःखभञ्जनकारकः लवस्त्रुटिः कलाकाष्ठा निमेषस्तत्परः क्षणः.
So just for the knowledge of the listeners, this second line which we are reading here onwards, the measurement of time in our ancient India, whatever measurement of time we had, those measurements we can see here. Lavaha, tritihi, kala, kashtha, nimeshaha, tatparaha, kshanaha. These all are the types of measurements of times. Tritihi is something like if you take the measurement of truti is if you take a padmapatra, lotus leaf, and if you try to pierce it with the needle, so whatever time is required for piercing it, that is so minute. Some, as I remember, it's 1 by 4300 seconds, something it will be. Okay, that fast it is. So that measurement of time is not there in our modern calculations. So that small measurements you will find. The higher measurements also you will find. When we read further, you will find that also. Okay. Ghati muhurtam praharaha.
घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरः घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरः
Divanaktamahernisham.
दिवानक्तमहर्निशं दिवानक्तमहर्निशं
Paksho masoyanam varsham.
पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं
Yugam kalpo mahalayaha.
युगं कल्पो महालयः युगं कल्पो महालयः
घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम्
घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम् घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम्
पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः
पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः
घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम् पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः
घटे मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम् पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः घटी मुहूर्तं प्रहरो दिवानक्तमहर्निशम् पक्षो मासोयनं वर्षं युगं कल्पो महालयः.
So just see, this kalpaha is the mahalaya is the highest timeline which you can see. Mahalaya means it's almost pralaya. So kalpa means 1 day of Brahman, daytime of Brahman. One kalpa means 1 day time of Brahman. So what is this one kalpa? 1000 Mahayuga makes one kalpa. So what is this 1000 Mahayuga? So there are a lot of calculation which goes. So for that I may have to take one whole session. So I will not go there. Just generally, if you want to say, it will be somewhere around some lakhs of years. More than lakhs of years. Okay, so that collection makes one kalpa. One kalpa is a 1 day time of the Brahman, and once that daytime gets over, when Brahma goes to sleep, it is believed to be the pralaya kala. Okay, so at that time whole samsara sleeps. So that again 1 lakh, more than lakhs of years that will take. राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगः
राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगः राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगः
वारः करणमंशकम्
वारः करणमंशकम् वारः करणमंशकम्
लग्नं होराकालचक्रम्
लग्नं होराकालचक्रम् लग्नं होराकालचक्रम्
मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम्
राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम् राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम्
लग्नं होराकालचक्रम् मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
लग्नं होराकालचक्रं मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः लग्नं होराकालचक्रं मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
मेरुः नास्ति मेरुस्
मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम् लग्नं होराकालचक्रं मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः
राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम् लग्नं होराकालचक्रं मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः राशिस्तारातिथिर्योगो वारः करणमंशकम् लग्नं होराकालचक्रं मेरुः सप्तर्षयो ध्रुवः.
See, here you can find the terms of Jyotisha. Panchanga terms, first 5 words are of Panchanga. Rashihi, Tara, Tara means nakshatra, Tithihi, okay, Tithihi means, Tithi you know, Yogaha, Varaha means this weekdays, Karanam, the half of Tithi is called Karana. So Tara, Tithi, Yoga, Vara, Karana. These are the 5 Angas in Panchanga. The Panchanga book which you say now, we must see the Panchanga every beginning of the year and daily we have to read Panchanga. So these are the 5 things which 5 Angas make up Panchanga. Tithi, Tara means nakshatra, Tithi, Yogaha, Varaha, Karana. Okay. Agre. Now the names of grahas, planets. Rahurmandah kavirjivah.
राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवः राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवः
Budho bhaumashashiravihi.
बुधो भौमः शशिरविः बुधो भौमः शशिरविः
कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वम्
कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वम् कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वम्
स्थावरं जंगमं च यत्
स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत् स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत्
राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमशशीरविः
राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमः शशिरविः राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमः शशिरविः
कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जंगमं च यत्
कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत् कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत्
राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमशशीरविः कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जंगमं च यत्
राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमः शशिरविः कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत् राहुर्मन्दः कविर्जीवो बुधो भौमः शशिरविः कालसृष्टिस्थितिर्विश्वं स्थावरं जङ्गमं च यत्.
Here in this shloka, the name of the planets are given. Rahu, you know, Mandaha means Shani, Saturn, Mandaha, Shani, because it takes a lot of time to revolve around the sun. So it is called as very slow. It takes around some 700 years to have one round of sun. Kavihi means Shukraha, Shukra Venus, Kavihi. So he is called as a Vidwan, Kavihi. Kavi also means Vidwan. It's not only poet. In the word Sanskrit, the word Kavi has several meanings. One such meaning is Shukra. Jivaha means Guru, Jupiter. Budhaha, you know, Mercury. Bhaumaha means Bhumehe Apatyam, means Mangala, Puja. That is this Mars. Shashi means Chandra, Ravi Sun. Those are name of planets. Bhurapognirmarudyoma.
भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योम भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योम
Ahankratif prakratif puman.
अहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् अहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान्
Brahma Vishnu Shivo Rudraha.
ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्रः ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्रः
Isha Shakti Sadashivaha.
ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः
Bhurapognirmarudyoma prakratif puman.
भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान्
Brahma Vishnu Shivo Rudra Isha Shakti Sadashivaha.
ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्र ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्र ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः
Bhurapognirmarudyomahangritif prakratif puman. Brahma Vishnu Shivo Rudra Isha Shakti Sadashivaha.
भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्र ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्र ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः
Somebody has asked for reading the first word. Bhurapognirmarudyoma. Bhurapo. So I will split the word. See, these are the 5 elements. The Panchabhutani. Bhuhu. Bhuhu means earth. Apaha. Apaha means water. Agnihi, fire. Marut, air. Vyoma, space, Akash. Okay. Bhurapognirmarudyomahangritif prakratif puman. Brahma Vishnu Shivo Rudra Isha Shakti Sadashivaha.
भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् भूरापोऽग्निर्मरुद्व्योमाहङ्कृतिः प्रकृतिः पुमान् ब्रह्मा विष्णुः शिवो रुद्र ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः
Isha Shakti Sadashivaha.
ईशः शक्तिः सदाशिवः
Tridashah Pitaras Siddhaha.
त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धाः त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धाः
Siddhaha. Visargahasti.
ओ
Tatra visargah nasti
त्रिदशाः
sandhivasha.
पितरः सिद्धाः त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धाः
Yaksha Rakshamsi Kinnaraha.
यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः
Sadhya Vidyadhara Bhutaha.
साध्या विद्याधरा भूताः साध्या विद्याधरा भूताः
Manushyaः Pashavah Khagaha.
मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः
त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः
त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः
साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः
साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः
त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः
त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः त्रिदशाः पितरः सिद्धा यक्षा रक्षांसि किन्नराः साध्या विद्याधरा भूता मनुष्याः पशवः खगाः.
After seeing this, what we feel, all the names which we are listening are all the names of Ganapati. Bhutaha, Manushyaha, Pashavaha, Pashuhu, Khagaha, everything is Ganapati's name. Samudra Saritashailaha
समुद्रा सरितशैलाः समुद्रा सरितशैलाः
Bhutam Bhavyam Bhavodbhavah
भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः
Sankyam Patanjalam Yogaha
सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः
पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
समुद्राः सरितः शैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः
समुद्रा सरितशैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः समुद्रा सरितशैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः
सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
समुद्राः सरितः शैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
समुद्रा सरितशैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः समुद्रा सरितशैला भूतं भव्यं भवोद्भवः सांख्यं पातञ्जलं योगः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः
पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः पुराणानि श्रुतिस्मृतिः.
There is a textual difference. Sometimes you can find instead of yoga, some places you may find yogam. Sankyam patanjalam yogam puranani shruti smritihi. In that case, you have to chant. Vedangani sadacharah.
Vedangani sadacharah. Vedangani sadacharah.
Mimamsa nyaya vistarah.
Mimamsa nyaya vistarah. Mimamsa nyaya vistarah.
Ayurvedo dhanurvedah.
Ayurvedo dhanurvedah. Ayurvedo dhanurvedah.
Gandharvam kavyanatakam.
Gandharvam kavyanatakam. Gandharvam kavyanatakam.
Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah.
Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah. Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah.
Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam.
Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam. Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam.
Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah. Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam.
Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah. Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam. Vedangani sadacharo mimamsa nyaya vistarah. Ayurvedo dhanurvedo gandharvam kavyanatakam.
So here what we have seen, we were seeing the abodes of knowledges, abodes of different knowledge. Okay, this is the whole, we call it Chaturdasha Vidyasthanam or Ashtadasha Vidyasthanam, abode of knowledge. So Vedas we saw, Vedangani, there are 6 Vedangas. Sadacharaha means this Dharma Shastra. Okay, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, and Puranas we have saw earlier. There is one more called Arthashastra, then Sthapatya Veda is there. That may come later. Purana and Sankhya, Patanjala, Yoga and all we saw here. Shruti means Veda, Smriti means this Manusmriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti and Dharma Shastra texts. Those are called Smriti. Okay. So we'll stop here. We have completed 15 verses for today. So today we'll stop here. If there are any questions, we'll take. We still have 7 minutes with us. So if there are any questions, we'll take those. If you have a question, please. Yes, Yamini ji. Manoj ji, can you please unmute her?
One minute. Yamini ji. Okay, Yamini ji. Yamini ji, you can unmute yourself.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskara.
Guruji, you were telling about the various things right now, right? The various namas and the meanings. In what context it is related? Like, I don't understand Sanskrit, so what I'm asking is like how it goes, how it is related to Ganapati. Is it like everything represents Ganapati? Is it something like that? Or?
Yes. We see in our, though we have different names for different gods, the Parabrahma is one. That context you may be knowing.
Yes.
That At the end of the time, it's only one God, Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. That's what we call. But in different contexts, different situations, we want to see God as we want to see. Even if I keep my bottle in front of me and I feel that this is God, I will always picture this thing as my God. And all the names will turn to this bottle now, because it's my God. Kavir Vishwaha, whatever you, Sankyam, Patanjalam, Yogam, everything will be this bottle. But at the end of the day, or finally, what is the thing? It is Parabrahma. So Ganesha is also a Parabrahma, Shiva is also a Parabrahma. So whatever names we see, Manushya is Parabrahma, Manushya is Ganapati, Pashu is Ganapati, all the planets are Ganapati. So everything is Ganapati.
Guruji, I have one more thing to ask. Sorry, like I missed one class actually. Like the week before, I missed one session. I was listening to the recording of it, and in Tamil, right, we have the ru with the apostrophe on the top. You were explaining that it is not u, it is not e. In the video, I saw that in the recorded one. How to pronounce it?
I didn't get your question. Sorry.
No, like today also we encounter. For example, because here the numbers are in Sanskrit, so I don't know what is a number. Ru is there, right? Yeah.
There are ru means you want a e e u r or
No.
ya ra ru.
No, not that one. G. Like R with a full stop on it. How to pronounce? R with a dot on the top or bottom. I don't.
Just a second. I will share the screen. If you see that somewhere,
21
please.
in 21 we have like a Prakriti is there, right? 21, 121.
Prakriti.
Sloka,
Okay.
sloka number 121. 121. Yeah,
Here also you have
121.
Ahankritihi Prakritihi.
Where 122 is it?
This is 121.
I think I'm sorry, 122. 122.
Yes.
Yeah, 122.
This one, no, you are saying.
Yeah.
Ahankritihi.
Yeah.
Ahankritihi. This is kr. Not kru, not kri. Kr.
Oh, that R with a dot on the bottom, you have to pronounce it as
R. R.
Okay.
A, I, E, U, R.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And thank you for all explaining each and every word, Guruji. Today's class was really so good. We are learning
Today, actually, I wanted to explain each and every word of this Sahasranama Stotra, but time does not allow, and that each word has lot of things to explain. So today it was easy to I went ahead. That's all.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you. And even little grammar things also we are learning from you, because I'm learning vyoma-samskrta-pathasala. I can before I didn't have all these knowledge. Now learning from you, I can apply these things when I'm chanting that, right? Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Yeah. So we'll take other questions if we have. Anybody else?
No hands raised as of now.
What does Rudra represent? In the Vedas, we don't find the word Shiva. Okay. This Trimurti and all we don't find in Vedas. Vedas, we have 33 gods explained in Vedas. Of those, Ekadasha Rudraha. So that Rudra concept is taken. Rudra is different from Shiva. Yeah, Shiva's avatars are Rudra. That's how Puranas explain that to make the concepts of Veda easy. So there are a lot of things to discuss in this regard. But just understand this. This Rudras are the part of Shiva. Shiva concept is taken to make the Rudra concept easy. But there are Ekadasha Rudra, Ashta Vasavaha, Dwadasha Adityaha. So completing this, there become 33 Devatas. We say 33 crore Devatas. Those are actually 33 Devatas. 1 equals to crore. There are a lot of things which needs clarity still. It will take a long time also to explain each of them.
There is a question from L. Krishnan Mahodaya.
What is it?
How can we memorize all the shlokas?
There are various methods to memorize. We, in our tradition, how we do, we first take one shloka, then chant it 10 times. Okay. So in that manner, we take 10 shlokas and each shloka we will chant 10 times. Then we will take two shlokas and 10 times we chant. Okay. Then we take 5 shlokas and chant them 10 times. Then we take 10 shlokas and chant them 10 times. This way, the 10 shlokas what you have studied, that will be memorized. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye once. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye twice. This way 10 times one shloka. Then Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Vakradunda Mahakaya. These 2 shlokas I will be chanting 10 times. Means 1 into 10, then in that manner you have to divide the shlokas. I didn't understand what Venkat said.
Venkat Mahodaya is asking, it would be nice to get your version of chanting of the shloka. No, chanting of the shloka fully so that we don't split at the wrong places. And there is one more question from Venkat Mahodaya also saying that any rules of chanting this Sahasranama, like some mantra needs, etc.
No, the way we are chanting now, that is more than enough. Okay.
So
there is nothing
maybe Venkat Mahodaya wants to have the recording of the complete version. Like nice to get your version of chanting.
Let me allow him to talk, so he will answer. Yes, Venkat, you can.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Namaskaram, Guruji. My question was more towards when I'm practicing from the video. Obviously, it is with the splits. So I know you're chanting the version later, but I don't know because of the chandas and everything. Remember, we talked about the meaning if it's split at different places, and I started circling the document that I downloaded because there are places where you have nicely split in the document. So I think it's making sense that is where you want the full word to be there. For example, Shaktam, Vainayakam, like you don't want to split in between whatever. So I'm getting that part. But when I'm chanting it's looking very odd in some places when I'm trying to practice. So I'm like, okay, is that how I will have to chant when I'm chanting the whole Sahasranamam or that? Because we're so used to listening to Vishnu Sahasranamam and all this stuff. So, that's the reason I'm asking that if you have your version, the way you chant, at least we can try to do the same thing, especially for the first slokas that you're trying to, we're trying to memorize and, learn. So that's the reason I was asking that question.
So what we will do after the end of this whole course, once we all will come together, and at that time I will chant whole version.
Sure.
So that can be downloaded and kept with you.
Sure. Thank you, Guru. That's awesome. And the other question was the rules, because they say, right, for certain mantras or certain sahasranams also, you cannot just like this chant in a sofa, or, you want to be in a much proper dress and, proper next to puja altar and then chant and stuff. That's the reason why I asked the question. Is there any rule? Can we chant, like, for example, we memorize it? Can we chant while walking? And is there any specific rules? Okay.
There are no specific rule for Ganapati Sahasranama Stotra. You can just put the recordings on your ears and keep listening whenever you are working or you're cooking, or you are just it should be a clean place. where your mind can, means if you want to concentrate on those verses, then that's a different thing. You have to sit in a very calm place, very clean place, in front of the Lord. But if you just want to listen the Lord's name, instead of concentrating on those and means like worshipping and all, then it's okay. If you read, even walking, wearing chappal, nothing matters. Even in train, even in bus, even in your office when you are free, you can chant, or just put the recording in your laptop and listen, keep listening. Everything works. There is no specific rule.
Thank you, Guruji. Dhanyavada. Thank you.
So, Mela Patam Srinivas ji had some question. Srinivas ji?
Yeah, I was just saying, if it will be better to chant probably in an auspicious scenario always, isn't it? Like, for example, sometimes I go to the toilet to urinate. Obviously, I wash my feet. And otherwise, I feel very guilty going into the puja room or anything. So I always have to make sure of that. Otherwise, I won't chant or look into a Sanskrit sloka. Yeah.
So that's what cleanliness is very important wherever you read this. So that is the common thing. There is no specific thing that you have to sit and read. But if you're clean, your dresses are clean, your mind is clean. That's very. And actually, these stotras actually make us be clean.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that case, I don't think there are any other questions, and it is 8:06. Many of you may have to go to your workplace, though it is Saturday, but it's not Saturday for all. It's not weekend for all. So have a great Saturday. We'll meet tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning also I will chant today's 15 verse, and then we'll go ahead. Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Manoj ji, can you please chant Hastindranaya? Bhavan mute asti Mahodaya.
Kshamita Mahodaya, Kshamita. Hastindrananaminduchudamarunaఛాయం trinetranvitam ఆశ్లిష్టం ప్రియయా సపద్మకరయా స్వాంకస్థయా సంతతం बीजापूरगदाधनुस्त्रिशिखयुक्चक्राब्जपाशोत्पलव्रीह्यग्र स्वविषाणरत्नकलशान् हस्तैर्वहन्तं भजे महागणाधिपतये नमः.
Milam.
धन्यवाद.